Hey guys, hey Jen, hey Jason, hey Wasso. How we doing?
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
hello.
We have a special guest today. We brought Wasso back. Figured it
I'm
was
back.
figured everyone wanted to hear your voice, buddy. So what a treat.
I'm happy to be here. Very happy to be
Absolutely.
here.
Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We're still here building as always. We'll kick off the AMA, Jen, with you as usual.
Yeah. So, I think I've touched on this topic quite a bit, not only in AMAs, but just like other interviews that we've done, whether that was like 26 questions with MEXC or in the format of written AMAs. But you guys have heard me speak a lot about how I think education is key in this space. And so, a big focus for EverRise this month is actually going to be spitting out way more educational content. We spent a good part of January working on a backlog of content that's basically in like a repository and library. So, we'll be looking at starting to release that on a regular basis, likely a weekly cadence. But in addition to that, we're also going to be playing around with some new formats. I've always said, and I know this sounds silly, but I always said that I think EverRise can become its own influencer one day. We have such an amazing community around the project. You look at our Twitter, and it's like we have a more engaged and active Twitter following than a lot of these quote unquote crypto influencers do, right? And so, what type of content do we need to put out there to start reaching new audiences in a way that educates them about crypto? And so, I think some of the things that you'll start seeing from us this month as we kind of play around and test this content out is going to be a lot more educational type videos. And, you know, knock on wood, I'm actually going to be filming some videos of myself. Jason might be making some more videos as well. And, we're hoping to put out a lot more content out there that everyone will be able to share with your friends and family that are crypto curious, and really just starting to hopefully make this space a lot more accessible while also making it secure and educating people on what best practices are. So, from a marketing broad update, that's kind of going to be the focus for February. And if all goes well, it'll become a core pillar, a part of our strategy moving forward.
I love that. I mean, something I want to add to that too, Jen. When computers first came out, and they were more affordable for the average Joe, like you or myself back in, I don't know, 15 years ago. Everyone needed an antivirus software. Norton antivirus was huge, and that's because as adoption comes, so do the threats. So, with that said, as crypto adoption grows, there's going to be an increasing need for security and safety in the space. And there's only a handful of protocols that are, working towards that. EverRise being one. And I see a very bright future as adoption continues to hit the mainstream market. And as Jen mentioned, the crypto curious individuals buy their first part of a Bitcoin, or they buy their first Dogecoin, and then they really get into the ecosystem. So that's a big thing for me. I'm really passionate about what we're building here, and you guys are a huge part of that. And
Yeah.
we put out a tweet, and the community goes nuts. We're grateful for you for that. We wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. We've said that so many times, and you guys share the same passion that we do for keeping funds safe in this space. And no matter what happens, no matter what comes out, there's always going to be a need for security, because at the end of the day, whatever you have in crypto, you want to know that you can go to bed and wake up with your money still there. That's
Yeah. And TJ, just kind of echoing what you said, I think for me, it's more, I want like the friends that, at least the friends in my life that I've talked to about crypto in general, I always end up using EverRise as an example of like, how do we break down the technology? Like, what is DeFi? Okay, what's a DeFi wallet? What's the difference between this DeFi wallet and this DeFi wallet? And what's the difference between blockchains? How do you go in between blockchains? You have something on the Ethereum blockchain and you want to bridge it over to, the Polygon blockchain, this is how you would go about it. And this is how you would go about it using EverRise, and just really getting in there at the beginning and giving someone that fundamental understanding. And I think that's what's really important. I feel like the community has made it clear that, they've learned so much from just each other, and our community is so helpful. And it's like, I want everyone to have that type of education coming into crypto, because I think that's really what makes the experience something that you're like, yeah, okay, like this is something that can last a lifetime, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. No question. So with that said, we'll take some questions if you guys want to raise your hands. Jason is always monitoring YouTube as well for questions. No hands raised at the moment, so feel free to pop up if you want to just say hi. We're here. We're friendly. You know us. We're a family. And Wasso, how you been, my friend?
I've been doing well, man. Doing really well. Been working with the sales team a little bit. Still working with some exchanges, still some discussions going back and forth with them. We've been filling out quite a few grants, as you know, between like the Binance one. There's different mainnet grants that we're looking at now. But yeah, it's been pretty much it, as well as, trying to onboard some projects onto our dApps. That's been mostly what I've been focused on the last couple of weeks.
I love that. Awesome. I see a question from Cap Diage. I'll add you as a speaker. Hey, Cap.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Great. Thank you.
I have a quick question for you guys. Are you planning to go in SafeMoon swap?
Wasso, you want to take that?
Yeah, I can take that. I'm going to answer that by saying right now we're like actively talking to the SafeMoon team, discussing a bunch of different things. So I think it may be something we go on. I do know that there is like quite a bit of exposure that comes off of it. Like, we're very aware of the amount of holders SafeMoon has, and to be honest, the SafeMoon team has been, really nice to deal with. They reached out to us, and I don't know if we're gonna go on their swap. I think right now we're just kind of like discussing, both projects and ways that maybe we can work together. But I can't answer that right now. But I hope I gave you some information there that shows you at least we're talking to them.
Got it, Wasa. Thank you.
No problem.
Awesome. Thanks, Cap. No other hands raised at the moment. Jason, is there anything from YouTube?
Yeah, guys, if you are watching on YouTube, feel free to put your questions in the comments. Not had anything just yet. Just people saying hello. So hello to you. In relation to the last question as well, like, we're still really heavily focusing on EverSwap and as well, and making sure that we kind of put together our full ecosystem of features that we want implemented for that. But yeah, again, if anyone has any questions, I'll read them out in between callers. TJ.
Awesome. Staking Poppy, what's going on, my friend?
Hey guys, I'm at work. I just really wanted to say that congrats on the DeFi talks. I love the direction you guys are going in. I'm just amazed at the people you're bringing on to DeFi talks, and all the attention we're getting from that angle. And I just want to say congrats. Awesome.
Thank you so much. We have a great lineup in the hopper ready to go. You guys are going to be really impressed. So I'm looking forward to that. I love DeFi talks. It's one thing to, have your own project, but I mean, the space is so big. There's so many great opportunities out there, and there's so many great protocols. So it's a pleasure to really, expand and hear about them, and then communicate with them. And because a big thing of DeFi talks too is, for us as a team, it opens the door to future conversations, and it's now a line of communication. after having a 1 hour conversation with somebody, you can approach them for a partnership very easily. If you need assistance with anything, they're there. So it's a big networking thing, and I really love it. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I'm glad we brought it back last week after the holidays, and we got some great guests coming up that will blow you guys away. That's for sure. Valios. Hey, Valios, how's it going? You might have to unmute in the bottom left-hand corner.
Hello, everybody. Can you
Hey.
hear me?
Yes, how's it going?
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. I wanted to ask, we're seeing more and more entities, countries and even governments, local governments talking about crypto, adopting crypto, legalizing crypto. India was I guess in the news just today. And I was wondering if our team is entertaining any possibilities to reach out to these governments and discuss possible collaborations for security. If a country adopts crypto, maybe EverRise can help with securing those funds. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll give you my personal thoughts first. I mean, whenever you reach out to a government entity or a government body, especially in the crypto market, I mean, it's still such a gray space that you really don't know what's going to come from it. So you have to be very cautious and approach it with, a grain of salt and just because, securities and whatnot, everything is up in the air. There's no clear regulations yet as to what is a security, what's not a security. There are things, in legal jargon that can sort of classify a security, but nothing in the crypto world is set in stone yet. So it's approaching a government is very, I don't want to say risky, but I don't think it's the right time for a DeFi project to approach a government entity. Jen, Jason, Wasso, I don't know if you guys want to jump in here and give your personal thoughts on it, but I mean, as crypto grows, and let's say, India says we're fully integrating Bitcoin. Heads up, that was not said. This is speculation. Then there's opportunity to potentially open a conversation. But even with that said, I mean, protecting ourselves is our number one priority, and protecting our investors. And I never want to get into a situation where our class essentially is in question, whether we're a security, if we're not a security, whatnot. So it's really important for regulations to come out and make things crystal clear before we jump into conversations with government.
Yeah. I was just going to throw in one or two sentences. So we have, I've definitely seen over like the last like month or so, there's been some communication about, reaching out to, local politicians, people who are pro crypto within politics, discussing with them the infrastructure that we're attempting to build here. So a lot of the issues with crypto, a lot of them are like it's the Wild West. There's no infrastructure, and there was some discussions internally that our messaging and our branding is something that a pro crypto politician would respond very well to. So there has been some dialogue on that level of locally people reaching out to their politicians. However, there hasn't been anything specific from the team.
Yeah, and what we're kind of building right now is utilities and solutions for the decentralized space, right? And a lot of governments are talking about cryptocurrencies, and I would imagine initially their focus is going to be on the centralized element when they integrate and kind of dip their toes into crypto. I think it'll be down the centralized route as opposed to the decentralized routes. However, that said, I think that governments will be very interested in knowing about solutions in decentralized finance that actually can facilitate that decentralization. And moving forward into the future, having our suite of DApps out and available for projects to use, for investors to make use of, will certainly put us in a very good position to talk to, like Waso said, politicians or government representatives wanting to find out more about decentralized finance and how it can be safe and secure, and a space where people can actually take control of their finances in a secure manner, which is comparable to the legacy financial system.
Well said. Yeah, I couldn't have said that better myself. I mean, I would assume that when governments do start integrating crypto into their ecosystem of their country, they're going to start with centralization. But that's why it's important to be building these tools now before it becomes so huge that when the time is ready, we are armed with a suite of DApps that just doesn't exist outside of our ecosystem that will keep people safe, and that's what's really going to solidify the future, I believe. Again, personal opinion here, but I mean, we're all on crypto Twitter all day. We all follow the road signs, so there's always going to be a need for security and safety. There's no overlooking that, and there's only a handful of projects building that infrastructure. Hope that answers your question, Valio.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Amazing thoughts. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, my friend. Have a great day. Lucid Eye,
You too.
thank you very much. Lucid, the floor is yours, my friend. How's it going? Hey, Lucid, are you there? I'll bring up Sidelines. Hey, Sidelines.
Hey there. Quick question for you guys. Any plans on bringing your security into like metaverse, either via like bridging different metaverse arenas and or like for purchases within that area?
As far as metaverse integration, all we've done at this time is we've had a couple of meetings with different metaverse projects to see if there's any interest in our suite of products. At this moment, I don't think it's the intention of Rise to build a metaverse rather than attempt to support the existing metaverses and the future metaverses. Same kind of idea with like NFTs. Very often we get like, what's Rise's stance on NFTs? Well, we want to try eventually to have, the NFTs be bridgeable. We want to try and support, those different types of projects. But we have had a couple meetings with metaverse projects, nothing official. And to be honest, nothing like close to, making a deal. But it is something that we're interested in. And we are talking to some metaverse projects.
Cool. Yeah, mostly agreed. I mean, I was just thinking about bringing your suite of security into that, not necessarily building out.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. I just tried to be a little bit specific with my response, but one of the things we do regularly is, just kind of keep an eye on the overall, the crypto, community as a whole. Like obviously NFTs were a big deal, like play to earn games are a big deal, metaverse is a big deal, and we're constantly trying to see, how do we make sure that our tools, service, those types of projects, and if they don't, maybe we'll try and build a tool that can, but not close yet, but hopefully something will come out of it.
Thanks so much.
For sure.
Awesome. Thanks for your question. I don't see any more hands raised at the moment.
I've got
Yeah, go nuts.
Yeah, if anyone wants to speak, put your hands up in the space. But we've got a great question here from Pancakes on YouTube saying, will the wallet have a dashboard allowing all staking contracts to be viewed?
Will the wallet have a dashboard to show all of the staking contracts can be viewed?
I mean, currently, we're not sure. We haven't started on the UI UX for EverWallet, but I am looking at the new UI UX for EverStake, and you'll be able to access all of your staking contracts there.
Yeah, and like as we build, like I've said in previous like VCs and in spaces, like when like our products are coming out, we're constantly evolving them and improving them, especially like, you know, things like Everown that's already been out, that's, you know, in V2, and it's more features, implementing that. And obviously we've got the new Everstake platform, which has been live now for a few months, and that's undergoing changes and UI improvements. So yeah, like Jen says, there's going to be more UI UX improvements and quality of life adjustments. When EverWallet does come out, you can expect the entire suite to work in unison. So it's going to be an easy process of switching between the apps, and integrating the app. So with the swap, with the stake, with the wallet, you know, it makes perfect sense that it's as less as hassle as possible to go between each one. So, you know, as the year progresses and we get closer to releasing the UI and getting closer to the release date of EverWallet, you'll know more about that. But there will be lots of information that you can access via the DApps suite. So thank you for that question.
Awesome, thank you. I'm going to bring up NDA SafeMoon. Hey, NDA SafeMoon. You might have to unmute your mic in the bottom left-hand corner. In the meantime, I'll try bringing up... Oh, hey, I hear ya. How's it going?
Oh, good, TJ. I thought I heard it, but I was still connecting in that process.
No worries.
To see if I could get a little nudge if we're going to be listed on the SafeMoon swap or not.
So, Wasso, I'll let you take that one again.
Yeah, I commented on this a little bit earlier. So right now we're talking to the SafeMoon team about many different things. You know, they were very interested to learn about our products. We asked about their swap. They have an upcoming exchange. I'm not saying here that SafeMoon is going to be using our products, and I'm not saying we're going to be using SafeMoon's product. I am saying, though, we have a lot of respect for the SafeMoon team, and they've shown us quite a bit of respect as well. And we're in discussions between each other to see what makes sense for both projects. We have seen recently that there's been a lot of hype from, you know, projects that have listed on SafeMoon Swap. We're definitely aware of that. But it's a little bit early to say exactly what's going to come out of that. But they're definitely, you know, everyone that myself and Jen and Suresh and the rest of the team have spoken to have all been very good guys. TJ2 is involved in those conversations. And I hope something comes out of it, you know, like this is the goal of, you know, this space is for, you know, two projects to, you know, collaborate and hopefully support each other and make the overall space better. So I want that for us with SafeMoon, and I want that for us with anyone else that, you know, brings something to the table.
As do I. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know there's a nice little history with EverRise and SafeMoon, and for me, the ultimate goal would to see both companies working together under one roof or multiple roofs, doesn't matter, but just working together and having great conversations, as you've mentioned, is just elated for me, so to speak. So thank you very much, Wasso.
For sure, man. Thank you for your question.
Thanks, my friend. We'll talk to you next week. Lucid, how's it going? We'll try that again.
Did you call me up earlier?
Yes.
My phone. Oh, yeah.
It's okay. You're up now.
All right. Sounds good. So my question to you guys is, when you get onto a new blockchain such as Phantom and Avalanche, what are the main objectives that you're aiming to achieve when you're on that? Is it to offer Everown? Is it to offer Everbridge? Is it what's the objective there?
Good question. So bridging to a new chain or launching on a new chain, for us has many benefits, right? So when we launched there, we launched first on a decentralized exchange. So in Phantom's case, we launched on Spooky Swap, and on the Avalanche, we launched on Trader Joe's. So first, there's user members that are on those dexes. So just by launching there, we're gaining access to, potentially investors that are not on any of the existing chains we're on. Also, by going to a new chain, it becomes another touch point of our bridging system. So we're able to go there. People from there are able to come to the other chains that we're on, as well as, all of the tools that we have, right? We have EverOwn, EverSwap, EverMigrate, and then, of course, EverStake. All of those dApps will be made available on any chain that we're on. So our goal is to bring our suite of dApps to all of the chains that we can. Like long term, that's our goal. In the case of Phantom and Avalanche, we're going to have products continuing to come out once we're on there. Like, as you know, EverWallet is due to come out, EverSail, EverLock eventually. But, the goal is, once we have our dApps built, is once we go on a new chain, we go and we come with all of our tools, and, we hope to grow within those communities. I hope that answered your question a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And so, how's the reaction been so far? Because when I look at EverOwn, it looks like it's the only product that you're offering right now. When we look at what's there in contracts, we really have mostly just the Binance chain and maybe one project that's on Ethereum, but
Yep.
non Polygon. Why has that Polygon, which is probably the second highly blockchain or its second layer, but with lots of volume, why hasn't it picked up on that?
Yeah, really good question, man. Not an easy question, but a very good question. So I'll give you my honest belief. So first, I think that EverRise was a BSC project first and foremost, right? We launched here. People knew us here. A lot of people that invested in EverRise, right, like during the pre-sale days, are people that invest in a lot of the other projects which are on EverOwn. So we actually had quite a bit of a name to us, and we still do within BSC. To comment on the one, I think we have one or two projects on the Ethereum side. We don't have too many relationships with developers on the Ethereum side. Also, we don't have much of a community on the Ethereum side. So what really helped us a lot with the BSC projects early on was that a lot of the community or investors of those projects were asking the developers to go on EverOwn. They were asking them to, go and secure your smart contract. Along with that, there was, me, and the rest of the team, bringing awareness to EverOwn. But there was that initial, people knew who we were, and people were asking the developers to put their smart contract into EverOwn. I had been focused on a dApp adoption, increasing dApp adoption. Within the last month or two, a lot of my focus has been getting listed on exchanges, getting grants, EverRise qualifies for a lot of different grants out there, and this is basically free money that we can use to help grow our project. So that's something that we're very focused on these days. We have brought on a sales team, I believe, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. It's four team members as of now, excluding me, so I'm 5, and we're putting a big focus on growing adoption on these other chains. Things that we're doing currently, we're in a Telegram chat, for example, with the Phantom leadership team. So this is their founder, their head of business development, head of Asian markets. We're also in a chat with some, not most, some of the Avalanche leadership team. So we're going to the chains similarly to like how we did with Polygon, right? That's how we were able to get Polygon onto Twitter Spaces. So we're trying to work with, also, I don't know if I'm going into too much detail. Am I? I'm trying to answer your question as best as I can.
But, yeah, well, no, I totally understand. I think you went a little too much into details, but because I got a few more to drill you with. So
let's go. Give me them. But that's what we're trying to do now, is gain relationships with the chains. Co-market our products as safety and security products with the chains, as well as we brought on a small sales team to try and go, in and out of telegrams and emails to get a hold of the developers.
Yeah, that's going to be key. Going after, because I do understand we started off on the Binance Smart Chain, but Polygon, there's no community there. Ethereum, there's no community, but also there's no community on Phantom and Avalanche, and there's also going to be no community on the next blockchains that you brought on. So it's all going to be that effort that you need to be making to get the word out there in each community to make your products available. So now that you got that sales team, I guess the challenge is to get the word out there. Now, which one of the products would you say would be your bread and butter that you would want the first in line to bring onto these different blockchains?
Okay, so the first product from the blockchain's perspectives, I think, would be probably EverOwn. It's something that most blockchains want to market themselves as being safe, being secure, having tools on there to protect investors. I think
Gotcha.
I think chains would respond best to EverOwn.
Gotcha. And then EverBridge is also available for them as well. EverSwap, EverMigrate. Those are products that are currently available for all of them, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, one thing I would maybe want to bring to your attention as well is on the website, on the app.
Yeah.
There's only registration for EverOwn. We don't see registration for EverBridge, so it might get the communication. You might send out a wrong communication thinking that only EverOwn is available. So
That's a very good comment. Jen, do you think we could add like under the other dApps like a register and then have them, it'll be like populate kind of like a text box that'll go to like our partnership email?
Yeah, I think that's something that we kind of already have built in on the website, but I'll talk to the team and we'll see what we can add in as we are going through the new UI and UX. And I also just want to clarify, I think a big part of adoption across the other products too, like to Wasso's point, like we just brought on, or I guess we just expanded the sales team, right? And it wasn't really until I would say in the past month that we decided we're going to go out and really try to gain adoption of the other dApps apart from EverOwn.
Okay. Yeah, that makes. And okay, my last question. Sorry if I'm taking a lot of time.
That's okay. They've all been good.
The EverBridge is so powerful. Sorry, not the bridge. The bridge is powerful too, but the native coin swap. Okay. So, we definitely see that as being a huge benefit to users being able to swap those native tokens. Now, there was a limitation with $2,000, I believe, right? Is there any
$10,000?
So what was? Oh, it was 2 ETH. Yeah, it was 2 ETH. That's
ETH.
right.
That's what it was.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I guess these days is like $5,000. Sorry.
Yeah. Is there? Well, and I understand the limitations due to the liquidity pools.
Yeah.
But that may be something that could be hindering to making that product as powerful as it could be. Have you thought about anything to remedy that, or is that in any of your conversations?
So there's definitely been conversations about like what's the most we could push the maximum like single swap for the native coin swap. I think that's kind of what you're asking about, right?
Yeah.
There has been conversation about it. I need to check. And see where we landed on that. What do you think's a good number? a lot of this is based on liquidity. So we're going to do
Yeah.
a check to make sure it all works. But is there a number that you have in mind that
Well,
you think would be?
I think 10 to 15,000 is a good number on average,
Okay.
but of course your solution really lies on the liquidity pool.
Of
So
course.
I think maybe well, here's what I'm trying to think of is um, a new staking feature where people can match Rise with an ETH or a Polygon, or like bring in a create liquidity pool to add more for the purpose of bridging.
Got it.
So,
Like a user incentivized like stake for the native coin swap that could help increase those amounts.
exactly.
I got it. That's a good idea. I'm writing this down.
I'm done. Check your DMs, Waso.
I will.
I've
Thank
been
you for the
trying to
good
reach out.
questions, man.
No-
They were
no
all good.
problem. All right. Thank you. Bye.
See you.
Thanks, Lucy. And this is a huge part of why we do the AMAs too. I mean, you guys know we listen to community feedback all the time. We get tons of great ideas from the community. So if you ever have a suggestion or a comment, feel free to raise your hand and chat. I mean, we're open to growing with the community, and that's what we've committed to early on, and we continue to do so. So thank you very much, Lucid. I appreciate that, and definitely the whole team and community appreciates that as well. Yes, sir. Okay. That's a good one. Jason, how about you answer that? That's a perfect question, by the way. Yes, 4.5%. Cell tax is staying the same. 6. There you go. Love it. Wonderful question. So yeah, you're always going to get little spoilers in these AMAs too. I mean, we just can't avoid them. So look out for that. We're going to be announcing that shortly. But that's one way we're also trying to grow the ecosystem on Avalanche and Phantom is by lowering the fees on EverSwap. And I can't stress enough how important it is to use EverSwap as opposed to the DEXs for yourselves and it actually benefits you in every way. I mean, no more sell pressure and lower fees. So it's a great platform. The code is brilliant and super impressed with the team for putting that together. And it's what we want to put a lot of focus on this month.
Yeah, so very quickly, TJ, the guys on YouTube didn't hear me because I had myself muted on YouTube. I'm sorry, guys. 4.5% reduction on fees in EverSwap for Avalanche and Phantom, 5% for buying, that is, and obviously standard tokenomic fees for the dexes. That's what I just said. So thank you for.
I just want to make sure it's not a 4.5% reduction, guys. It's being reduced from the 6 to 4.5%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, beautiful.
Awesome. No hands raised currently. Feel free to pop up if you have a question or a comment or a suggestion.
By the way, Lucid Eye, I'm still looking for your DM, and I haven't found it yet. Just wanted you to know. I think they may have taken you off of talking, but...
We've got Madman Slice saying in YouTube, when will all the DApps be out? Q2? Question mark. After there will... Then what will be the new goals? So, TJ, do you want to answer that?
Yeah. So the beauty of the space is that it's always evolving. You can't plan too far ahead because you don't know what's going to happen. One of the benefits we have here at EverRise is our developers are all in-house and they're all extremely talented. So when something does pop up, we can build it. As Suresh says, if we want it, we build it. So I think all the DApps are slated, by Q2, definitely. And then, we'll probably have some more to announce as well as different needs arise in the space for safety and security. If we can find a way to keep people safe, we will. If it's something that's not on our roadmap and we can put it together and it's going to, keep investors safe and have peace of mind all around, we'll build it. So our roadmap is ever expanding, if you will. Hakuna? How's it going, my friend?
Hey, happening, everyone? How's everything today?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I love listening to the talks. I love when you guys start going out there and giving a ton of information, and you're so worried about going too in-depth into information, and we're all just sitting here salivating, excited for what comes next. It's beautiful.
I love it.
I wanted to come up real quick because you mentioned about having the sales team and kind of glossed over that. And since we have almost 200 people in here, listening, I just wanted to remark to people, and I know you're aware, there's a couple of things that I've run across that I've sent over to Nico, and he's been able to run that down a little bit and open some opportunities. But anybody who's staked on the EverRise ecosystem, you earn commission by activity of the token moving around. So if you're in other groups and you see people talking about, looking to do a migration, looking to go to another chain, different opportunities that Rise might have a solution for, take a screenshot, shoot it over to one of the sales team there with Wasso and let them go and get in contact and try and run it down. We all stand to benefit from that. So that's all I wanted to throw out while everyone was here on the chat.
Very well said, my friend. Absolutely. I mean, and if you can't get a hold of one of us directly on Telegram for some reason, you can always send it as a DM to the Twitter account, to our Twitter account, and we'll get it passed off. That's huge. That's totally true. Staking rewards are accumulated by tokens moving around, and that's why Rise powers the entire ecosystem. So thanks, Hakuna, for bringing that to light. You guys know where to find us. We're always around. Hope you have a great day, Hakuna. Sunreal? Hey, Sunreal.
Hello, how's it going?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Doing well. I had one quick question. Absolutely. Is EverRise interested in being one of the first tokens listed on a brand new exchange? Because I do have some information about an exchange that will be launching. Not an exchange, listed on a new chain, a brand new chain. That's going to be launching towards the end of this month at about 100 million market cap. And I was wondering if that's something that EverRise is looking into doing, being one of the first tokens on an exchange, or are we looking for more reputable exchanges?
I think we want to learn a little bit more about that chain. Can you send some information to? I'm sure you have some of us in DMs or to the main account or me or Jen or whoever. We all talk, but I want to learn more. Can you send it to us?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, let's do that. I can't comment further on that. I can't. Actually, I can. Historically, we've wanted to go on to establish chains, right? But, if there's an opportunity here where, we could be one of the first projects there, and if the relationship is right with the chain itself, it's definitely something we need to look into. That's for sure.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely get that information out to you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Unreal. Have a great day, my friend. Jason,
Thank you.
anything on YouTube?
Yeah, we've got a question. So very quickly, just to gloss over some of these questions. Does EverRise have any plans on creating their own blockchain? Pretty much the easiest answer I can give you is not at the moment. There's no immediate need to have a blockchain. The way that our ecosystem works is via the token and via being on other blockchains and being a bridge between. If anyone else wants to come in and add to that, then feel free.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just add that the biggest thing is we provide tools to other projects and investors on other blockchains to keep them safe. So, I mean, is it completely out of the question? No, nothing is completely out of the question. It's just right now the focus needs to be on adoption of the DApps across the 5 chains that we're on at the moment.
Yeah, and certainly speaking with the technical team, in the past and currently, if there is a need for it, if there is a genuine need for a chain, a blockchain, then we'll look at that and we will be able to build that. But right now there is no immediate need for that. So it's very important to know that lots can change, and you guys will be the first to know if we plan on ever going down that road. Any possibility, Daniel Mullins says, any possibility of giving the upcoming NFTs bonus staking or other utilities on top of being cross-chain?
I think I'm going to let you answer that because you've been so deep in the NFTs, Jason. I don't even know if you can see past your computer screen.
Well, certainly the NFTs are certain. It excites a lot of people. NFTs are definitely are a big thing right now, and certainly within the EverRise community, people are looking forward to receiving theirs. What I can say about NFTs is NFTs are more than just pieces of art that you can admire and look at and collect. There's obviously other things that you can do with NFTs, and I've had talks with Ben and certain ideas that possibly we could look at in the future regarding NFTs. And there's certainly a lot of things that you could have if you owned a certain NFT. It may give you special access to something, or it may allow you to unlock something, or you could use a certain type of NFT in conjunction with a DApp to provide a certain service. So there's certainly lots of things that you can do with NFTs as opposed to just collecting them. So to answer your question, internally, yes, there's ideas and thoughts that we could kind of expand on, what the EverRise NFT collection will be and what we'll eventually develop into. But it's very important to realize that we're very much at the early stages. We haven't yet released the full series of migrationary and staking NFTs. But we're definitely looking into things and getting feedback from community members, and if there's a way that we can in the future kind of integrate our NFTs past the ability to bridge, then we will look into it. Of course we will. But we'll do that step by step, and right now our focus is just getting them out there and integrated with the staking platform.
Yep.
Well said. That was a great question. Thank you, Daniel. But yeah, lots of things you can do with NFTs. Have we got anyone else with hands up right now?
Not at the moment.
No problem. There was another question about managing staking contracts. Very quickly, I can say that we have to be very careful about how we can't do something or implement something within Everstake that will take control of your actions. So when it comes to managing multiple staking contracts, we can just provide in the future ways of sorting out your contracts, ways of like searching through your contracts, but we can't do anything which would bypass your actions between you and the staking contract. That's it has to remain decentralized. There can't be any centralization there. So to answer your question, there will be improvements and quality of life adjustments like I spoke about earlier on, which will allow you to sort through your contracts better than what it is now, but there won't ever be in my opinion, right now, I can't see there being a button that you can click that would, claim all of your rewards across all of your contracts, because we can't have a function that takes that decentralized process away from you as a person. The relationship that you have with that staking contract has to remain between you and that staking contract. Like, we cannot get involved in any way.
Yep. Anything else up on YouTube?
I'm just reading through them now. What product do you have currently or have in development that you will think will be the jumping off point to make EverRise more broadly known as a project? That's been asked by Trent in YouTube.
Hey, Trent. I kind of want the whole team to answer this individually, because it's all, at the end of the day, it's all personal opinion. For me, I'm really at a tie between EverSale and EverWallet. The reason is obviously EverWallet, the potential that brings for DeFi security is massive. But the reason I'm so excited about EverSale as well is, I mean, think about how many new meme coins and tokens launch a day. There's hundreds of them. 97% don't survive. But they still do launch, and to launch, they need a pre-sale platform. And every pre-sale platform right now takes a percentage of the fees in tokens, which they then dump on the new investors. That is not the way to do it. It's wrong on so many levels, and that's why I'm really excited for EverSale, because the fee is going to be paid in native coin, not in the token of a project. Also, it's going to come with anti-bot measures. There's just so much in EverSale that fixes. I don't know if fixes is the right word, but fills a gap in the market. Yeah, it fixes and fills a gap in the market. So I'm pretty excited for those two.
Yeah, not to mention also, TJ, the anti-bot provisions that we'll be putting in that as well.
Yeah, which is huge, because how many launches get botted, and then a big reason for that too is a lot of devs dox before they launch their token. Death threats is no joke, and we see it time and time again in crypto. And a lot of the time it happens because either bots buy tons and then dump it on all the new investors, and people get upset. And it's just not the way to go about it. So, I mean, you can rest assured that every tool that we release will solve a problem that is not being solved at the moment. So EverSale is going to be great for that. EverWallet, obviously, with 2FA on top of MetaMask is huge. So just to sum it up, if someone gets your seed phrase, they would need an additional password that only you know to actually move funds around. So I'm really excited for those two.
Smart contracts are awesome, aren't they? Jen?
It's funny because I love all of our dApps so much, and I love the principle and philosophy that they were all built on. But I think if I had to narrow it down, I'm actually torn between EverSwap and EverWallet. I think EverSwap is unlike any other swap we've seen get released out into the market, and as we start, pushing for adoption of that across all the blockchains, I think that's going to be really incredible. Like, literally, there's no other swap out there that allows for developers to relieve some of the sell pressure on their chart just due to how their tokenomics work. And I think that's something that is really, really valuable. And then obviously EverWallet, I think, will be something that, anyone and everyone who has a DeFi wallet should use. It really devastates and breaks my heart every time, like, I check some of my DMs or my message request, and, people are saying they accidentally gave away their seed phrase and now they've lost all of their money. And the unfortunate part about the fact that the space is decentralized is there's nothing we can do about it except for create better tools to help people protect themselves. And I think EverWallet's going to do just that.
Yeah, absolutely. Wasso, did you have an answer?
Mine's EverSwap. Selling from a sales perspective. Trying to get projects onto Everown. It's hard to get a developer to give up their smart contract. It's very easy to tell a developer, we're going to reduce sell pressure caused by your smart contract. Entirely different conversations. I think EverSwap is going to help us out a lot with adoption. I think that more developers are going to know who we are. We're talking about some cool things about, maybe, having EverSwap on other projects' pages, that would be pretty neat. But yeah, I'm excited for EverSwap. Everything else is great. Like, you can't knock EverWallet or any of our other products, but from a increase in, engagement or adoption, I like EverSwap.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that as soon as we get our 8 dApps up and running, by Q2 this year, moving forward into 2022, and we've got the ability of benefiting projects, reducing their sell pressure in products that aren't, and the conversation being in a positive light, not essentially asking them to lock their smart contracts. It could be a great way of introducing them into the EverRise ecosystem. And by certainly having the ecosystem fully realized and having a whole suite of dApps out there with developers and investors making use of those, it certainly gives that sense of trust, legitimacy, the longer that the suite is out there and being utilized. So I certainly think that adoption, in my opinion, will come much easier once the ecosystem has been fully realized and we're able to go out and market our ecosystem as an entirety, as opposed to in stages, which we have been doing over the last few months. But it's a great question. I have a really good question here, TJ, from Chris. Any thoughts on DeFi regulation and the potential impact on EverRise? Or is that too macro to further understand at this current moment? So he's asking about regulation and DeFi. What has EverRise, has EverRise considered that? And are we doing anything or taking steps to prepare for that?
I mean, definitely we've considered it. It's only a matter of time before it comes. I mean, we're not going to pretend that we're living in this world where it's going to be like this forever. I mean, as crypto gains adoption globally, and more world leaders start talking about it, and politicians and governments start bringing it into their financial ecosystem, things are going to change. So we're always closely monitoring this stuff. I mean, at the current moment, the focus is on centralized cryptocurrencies, but I mean, it's only a matter of time before the DeFi crackdown comes, especially with all the scams and rug pulls and honeypots that go on in the space. So we're always monitoring it. We're always taking steps in the right direction to protect ourselves and protect you. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing. If regulations come down, we want to make sure that we're covered and that we've done our due diligence and all our I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So that way it's not a big hiccup or a hurdle when it does come down. We have a lot of stuff prepared behind the scenes for things like this. Guard has helped us out a lot with this stuff, and he's always a phone call away when we need him. And I'm not worried about DeFi regulations. I mean, things might change a little bit, but we're here for the long run, and we're here to provide the tools that a lot are going to need once DeFi is enough in the spotlight for regulations to actually hit.
If only there was a tool that would allow developers the ability to decentralize their projects, TJ.
If only.
Interesting.
Awesome.
DeMarco, very quickly, DeMarco's asked a question. So I'm going to read this out, even though he's mentioned a project here. Did you hear about Steam X? They plan to have their own blockchain. I saw that Enki, their head of PR, is following EverRise on Twitter. Does EverRise have any plan to partner up with them? Wasso, I know you touched on earlier on that we are looking to work with others. Do you want to again reiterate that you're just a DM away? If anyone wants
I am definitely a DM away. So yeah, please, I can tell you guys, anytime a potential collaboration or a partnership, right, comes across our Telegram chat, it gets funneled to me. If there's something from the Twitter DM, it gets funneled to me. So please shoot it anywhere. You could send a DM directly to me or But yeah, we'll definitely take a look, and we're looking to work with others. So we'll definitely be reaching out, and if their head of PR is already following Rise, that's a higher probability opportunity than most. So we'll jump on that right away.
Yeah, we're in the business of working with others, right, guys? I mean, there may be people listening into this space that have been used to building up walls and maybe a little bit of tribalism between certain DeFi projects, and we're not about that. We're really about reaching out, seeing if we can offer, utility and help other projects, and, partnering up, with platforms and projects in the future is certainly something that we really kind of have like at our core, because it's about working together as an environment, and which in my opinion DeFi is in its early steps right now, and if it needs to get through to a more of an adoption stage, like was said earlier on, we need to be in a space where people can work together and utilize each other's systems, processes, and platforms. So yeah, echoing what Wasso says, he's just a DM away. If anyone representative of a project or community member of a project feels that EverRise has something that can benefit them, then feel free to always reach out. Myself, certainly Wasso, will always answer DMs. Anyone on the team is always a DM away.
Without a doubt.
That's it for the questions, TJ.
Awesome. And there's no hands raised in spaces, so we will end the Twitter Space event here. It was a pleasure as always, guys. Thank you for the questions. I'm noticing less and less questions every week with the same amount of people in here. I'm assuming that's because we're too transparent. So maybe we should take a step back and no, I'm just kidding. We'll never do that. Transparency is key. That's one of the things that we preach from the very early days. So I'm glad that the majority of your questions have been answered. Please, I'll say this now. Think of some questions for next week. We're ready to answer them. And without further ado, we will see you here next Tuesday. Jen, Jason, Wasso, I don't know if you have anything you want to say before we close out.
Yeah, I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone who celebrates the Lunar New Year. My family certainly does, and it's probably the biggest holiday for us. So Happy New Year for folks out there who are also celebrating.
Happy New Year. And yeah, and again, I want to say thank you to our excellent community, as always, being active on socials, helping support and spread the message of EverRise and the ecosystem. So thank you again for all your hard work. And we wouldn't be where we are right now without you guys. So a massive thank you.
I'll say thank you to the entire community. And I'm definitely gonna say, please help us out. Like if you see a project that may be interested in some of our products, please share. Everyone here knows what our goals are. Everyone knows we're trying to improve safety in this space. So, please help us out. If you know a project, a developer that's interested, please connect them with us. And my last comment is I've seen a lot of engagement on Twitter these days. It's been amazing. Like one last thing, I'm sorry, I talk so much, I'm sorry guys, but like in some of the exchange discussions I'm having, they've sent me screenshots of like BSC News and like CoinGecko posting on Twitter that EverRise is trending. And this is literally from the community. This isn't me. Like our team can't make us trend. This is people believing in what we're doing and people that are supporting themselves, their bags, our community, by continuing to promote EverRise and our dApps. So please don't let it up, everybody. Thank you very much for all your time. I'll see you guys.
Thank you, Wasso. See you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. We'll talk soon.